biggest alpha dogs in the NBA, and Damian Lillard and LeBron James. LeBron spin. LeBron with a finish. Woo! Wow. Lakers have a chance to take the lead now. Down a point. Nice find by LeBron. Lillard, long three is up and in. Damian Lillard. Dame time, says Nurkic.
You know what? They don't have many three-point shooters. Like that! Like that!
Nurkic back on the floor. Give it to Carmelo Anthony for three. He's got it. Carmelo Anthony with all of that action. Nurkic hammers one home. Portland Trail Blazers, a 7-point victory over the Lakers in Game 1.
No fans, no home court, even playing field, and it was Dame time all night. Stephen A. looking smooth, Max Kellerman as well. Good to see you both. Let's get right into it. I'm Molly Karen Rose. The 8 seed fellas taking down the 1. Stephen A., talk to me. What happened to your Lakers last night?
Well, they can't shoot, number one. Number two, right, let me take that back. Number one is Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, get that one right.
Just putting on another show, doing what he's doing. Damian Lillard is the best player in the National Basketball Association right now. Plain and simple. He was the MVP of the bubble. He ended the final 3 games scoring over 30, averaging about 37. When you look at what he did last night, yet again, some long-range daggers. Give Gary Trent a lot of love defending LeBron James and hitting the big-time 3. Give my man Melo some love. Finished with 11 points, 10 rebounds. He hit a big-time 3 in the last 2.5 minutes. Give them all credit. But what it really comes down to, and C.J. McCollum had a strong third quarter, but what it really comes down to is Damian Lillard. This side of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, this brother, the marksmanship, the sniper-like abilities, he is the best basketball player in the world right now. You combine that with the fact that the Lakers can't seem to shoot, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem in L.A. LA's in some trouble. It's just one game, and we understand that. And unlike Barkley, who ridiculously called for a sweep because that ain't gonna happen, or unlike some folks out there that think that the Lakers are going to lose this series, I think they still may win it in 7. But this is going to be a nail biter. The Blazers are not going anywhere because they've got a great backcourt with one of the great players in the game today who looks like the best player on the planet right now in Damian Lillard. LeBron and those boys are going to have to come up with something to figure out. Hitting three-point shots, perimeter shots would be one thing. Finding a way to neutralize this brother is another. Good luck, since he practically pulls up from the parking lot these days.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just sit here and have a fawning contest over Damian Lillard, but that's the obvious answer. And Stephen A., you're right. He's been the best player in the NBA, like he's the MVP of the bubble. And he's been playing at an amazingly high level. By the way, in 1981, there was a work stoppage in baseball, a strike. And so it was really 2 separate seasons. They didn't play a complete season, but it was 2 separate seasons. And as I remember, the number 1 seed, so to speak, in baseball, the best ranked team, from the first half of the season and the second half, broken up by the strike, had to play essentially a playing game to see who advanced in the playoffs. And, of course, there's not enough time to do that in this season because the vast majority of the regular season happened pre-bubble. But it is like 2 different seasons right now. We can say that whoever was the MVP in the first half, and we see this, and we're talking Bucks today, obviously, and we're talking Lakers, but we've seen that with this team. The Lakers were peaking when the bubble, when the shutdown occurred, and now they have to refine themselves. This is not the same team, at least not the same kind of, they're not playing the same kind of way. And in the meantime, however the Blazers played before the stoppage, since the advent of the bubble, since they entered the bubble, Damian Lillard is the best basketball player in the world. Forget about the numbers for a second because he's putting up ridiculous numbers. Look at the moments in the game at which he's coming up biggest. You bring up Steph Curry, and Stephen A. Steph Curry, I believe, has turned over the years into a clutch player, a money on the line in the finals type player. But he hasn't always been that way. A lot of times Steph did not play his best in the finals, right? And we don't know. Let's see how deep Damian Lillard gets into the playoffs. He could still have bad games. But Damian Lillard is like Steph Curry but a Steph Curry who gets better in the biggest moments. That's an unstoppable force. LeBron gets, I think he was rejected at the rim by Whiteside, at least in the paint by Whiteside, in a tie game in the middle of the fourth quarter. And down comes Damian Lillard and pulls up from 10 feet behind the arc and nails a three in rhythm like for almost anyone else who ever lived, and certainly pre-Steph Curry. That's a terrible shot. You get yelled at by the coach.
It was
but
13,
this dude,
it was 13 feet behind the arc, to be specific. 13 feet.
13 feet. By the way, if you take a shot 3 feet behind the arc, that's a deep three, right? You could add 3 feet to the 10 feet I said. It's ridiculous. His finger is on the pulse of the game. Every time you think momentum's going the other way. Remember, they were even talking about on the broadcast. The Portland looks gassed, and the Lakers are coming on. It felt like, okay, here comes LeBron. He's got AD. Danny Green, if he gets a little hot. And Damian Lillard said, nope, Dame time. And Danny Green's got to hit shots, no question. He's their three-point specialist on this team, and he's not doing that. But Damian Lillard is the answer right now. And he's the best player in the world. You're right.
Well, listen, the reason why I felt wholeheartedly, remember we asked the question yesterday, Max, what was the best chance? The Lakers, Portland winning the series or the Lakers sweeping? And I said it's Portland winning the series because there ain't no way in hell they're getting swept. You saw them swept in the Western Conference Finals. The very next playoff series, we see they're going to get swept again with the way Damian Lillard is rolling. Hell no, that ain't happening. But let me take a moment to call out the Lakers. Did not tell you. It's not about what Anthony Davis does, it's how he does it. Anthony Davis had 28 points, 8 of 24 shooting, minus 20 on the court. Come on, you got to do better than that, AD. You all world, you got to do better than that. And let me sit up there and ask Frank Vogel a question, rhetorically albeit. What the hell is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Alex Caruso doing on the court for 29 minutes? They combined for 1 of 15 shooting. KCP was 0 for 9. My God, could you show a pose, pretty please, with sugar on top? I mean, just do something. 0 for 9 shoot. And Alex Caruso, listen. Hey, listen, just because there was once a movie, White Guys Can't Jump, and he defies that because he clearly can jump, doesn't necessarily mean he can play. And I'm not saying he can't play because I like Alex Caruso, but he was 1 of 6 from the field in 29 minutes. Why am I bringing that up? I mean, damn, Dion Waiters 1 minute, J.R. Smith 0. I mean, come on, Frank Vogel, you can't put them in. You ain't getting perimeter shoot from anywhere else. Can you try those brothers? Pretty please. Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith has shown an ability to get streaky and hit perimeter shots and three-point shots in their careers. And the reason they get no chance, 1 minute for Waiters, 0 for J.R. Smith, is because Alex Caruso and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope won for 15 in 29 minutes. They got to do something.
We're going to get into this later, I'm sure, because we're going to be talking a lot of Lakers playoff and Blazers playoff basketball today. But this is what happens when you put all your chips into the middle of the table to get a guy like AD. You're trying to fill out the role players as best you can, but you've really spent all your resources already. And that's why I didn't like the Lakers preseason. So we can quibble about Caruso versus J.R. Smith right now. If that's going to be the difference, then the Lakers don't have enough. If you want to talk about role players, Danny Green is the guy that they actually spent money on to bring in and to be that prototypical 3-and-D 2 guard